Right. Welcome to our today's class on Foundation of Personal Success. We are discussing and we are learning, we are sharing different core values from last couple of weeks, from humility to courage. And today is very important and very diverse value for personal success, and that is wisdom. Wisdom is very exponentially diverse in terms of understanding and in terms of applications in our personal and professional and daily life as well, because it quite covers a vast area of our world in which we are living. And there are a lot of content I have to share today, and so many content I did not share. I cannot share because of the time constraint. But let's see if I can cover. If there are something I need to cover, then maybe I will make a part B in wisdom. If I could not, and there is a lot of reading as well today, and uh, so let's go further. So before joining the class, this is our YouTube channel, Life Mastery with the 7 Habits. I ask you to join us because I'm trying to build a community of same like people, same mind people, where we can do amazing things as well. There are a couple of links which you can join me and my team, my blog, my business website, and a couple of Facebook groups and business pages. And that's my YouTube channel link as well. Before the session, we just request that please respect the privacy of the other. You can take the notes. You can mute the microphone all the time. And if you want have any question, video question, audio question, or chat, please you can raise your hand or unmute your mic as well. Um, and This session is for all great people like you are, or who are watching on this video, who wants to change themselves and also change the people around them, or change the uh, world as well, or who can contribute in any capacity, whatever you can. So let's begin the session, because this session will cover a lot of content, and that's why I will be a little bit speedy. There are many values, core values, in which we have to learn ourselves, and then we have to display in our daily life. Around 293 core values, and we are trying to learn and sharing a few, like 10, 20, 30 core values out of these 293 values. And today value which we are discussing and we try to understand on our advanced level as well is wisdom. And these are the a gist of skills, and the skills are different from the core values. Values are belongs to the person or its character, whereas the keys are also belongs to person, but more it is applicable on a professional life, from where we get trained, we get money, and blah blah. But both are very important, and we have well categorized as well. In the next couple of weeks or month, I will discuss and choose pick couple of key skills as well. But now this time is well. Well, started. Now, wisdom. Everybody have known about wisdom throughout the schooling, in our media, in newspaper, magazine, and wisdom is discussed or mentioned everywhere in many perspectives. They have many paradigm scenes where wisdom is showing. Um, as usual, I will discuss the wisdom in terms of civilization first, and then we will look into the definition from the dictionary. So, civilizational point of view, Dr. Stephen Covey in the Eighth Habit, he mentions about 5 ages of civilization. The human being, which we are, our technical name is Homo sapiens. We are sapiens, and we have been evolved from a very basic human to very advanced human till now. For example, you are in different part of world and I'm able to speak with you. You can even see me, and whatever I want to share, you can even hear me as well. You can listen me. You can see my screen which I want to share. So this is a extremely advanced uh, human being ever, which we are witnessing, which we are doing every day nowadays. But 5,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, or when the first human was started to have a journey on this planet around 75,000 years ago, until now, there is huge advancement, so much evolution has been done, have been applied on a human life. So Dr. Stephen has divided the whole civilization in terms of economy into 5 categories. One is hunter and gatherer age. The second is the agricultural age. The third is the industrial age, which we are living still. The fourth is the information age, or also the knowledge worker age. Yeah, that's also we are living in this. So it's actually transforming from third generation to fourth generation. And the next age which we are entering is the age of wisdom. Basically, why I'm mentioning this, because this age of wisdom is relevant to today's topic. And Dr. Stephen Covey is one of few authors in contemporary management literature who have well addressed on age of wisdom. And the book which he wrote, The Eighth Habit, actually he wrote for the age of wisdom. The whole big volume of the Eighth Habit book is actually for ourselves to well prepare to before entering into the age of wisdom, or maybe many of us have already entered into age of wisdom. That depend on the mental level, the the level, the advanced level of our mind. Now the hunter and gatherer age have used to have a tool of bow and arrow, where they used to pray and eat, and they have festivals, and they used to eat meats, and that's how that tool they used to have bow and arrow. That is also very relevant with the stone age we call often. The agriculture age is a farm equipment where people used to plow into the field and yield a lot of 50 times more food than bow and arrow age or hunter and gatherer age. Then 500 years ago, we entered into the industrial age, especially there were so many revolutions happened in our human history, from French Revolution to American Revolution to Russian Revolution to Chinese Revolution, and many other revolution, where people start to build industries and construct or invented machines, and their tool were factories and machines. Yeah, and it's still going on. And then the information knowledge worker age, where our tool is a human being. In last 3 ages, human beings were ignored itself. But the fourth age, we actually are caring of what our needs, what we want, what we think for, why we are not happy, why makes us better human being, how we can improve ourselves. So that's happening in our current information age, or we call a knowledge worker age. And we are truly themselves, himself, herself. So everybody is a great tool for this thing. And what is human being? Dr. Stephen is saying that we human beings are composed of four dimensions: physical dimension, mental dimension, social or emotional dimensions, and the spiritual dimension. So when these four work together, then we become human being, and that human being is working in this. Until we are not whole human being, we cannot be successful in current age. And the next stage, which is the age of wisdom, which is our topic of today, they will have a compass as a tool. Yeah, they have a tool. First age has a tool bow and arrow. The second age had a tool of farm equipments or uh, animals. The third age had a tool of factories or machines. The fourth age has a tool of human being, ourselves. And the fifth age of wisdom has a tool of compass. The compass is actually referring to the natural laws, to the principle, the voice of our conscious, the voice of our hidden aspect, which we cannot see through our five senses, but we can only get result from that, and that is our conscious, which is beyond our mind, beyond our brain, beyond our body, but it exists, and that is the tool of next stage. Anybody who can identify, who is able to identify his or her conscious, Dr. Stephen and many other spiritual leaders and business gurus, they think that we can live very better with happily in age of wisdom. Now I will come to you how this we can use this compass and how we can identify this compass. That is a more um, challenging question of today, until because many people deny from that conscious, but it does exist. Obviously, that's not my topic to prove you that there is a conscious or not, but the wisdom is directly linked with conscious. And um, today's presentation is to understand this wisdom. And but before going, let's have a look from the dictionary. The dictionary is saying the wisdom. I took it from the Cambridge Online Dictionary. The ability to use your knowledge and experience to make a good decision and judgment. Fair enough. It's amazing definition. And American Dictionary is saying it is more accurate as well and more complete as well. The ability to make good judgments based on what you have learned from your experience or knowledge and understanding that gives you this ability. So this is the ability. Wisdom is your ability to interpret different things in a very unique way, in a very meaningful way, so that it your personal background, your personal experience, your mental intelligence, your spiritual intelligence, all can contribute to speak from your, maybe from your mouth or from your hand in terms of writing, or through your practical uh, practical movement from your body, what you are doing every day, that all referring to the wisdom. And wisdom is interpreted in different scenario. There are a couple of sentences where the wisdom has been used. So that's a very standard definition of wisdom. Now, what Dr. Stephen is saying, Dr. Stephen is saying the wisdom is beneficial use of knowledge. Wisdom is information and knowledge impregnated with higher purposes and principles. He also says wisdom teaches us to respect all people, to celebrate their differences, to be guided by a single ethic service above self. It's marvelous definition, and his whole literature is actually around surrounds by this concept of wisdom. Now, the last line, which is saying celebrate their differences, it referring to the phenomena of synergy, where different people meet with each other or live all together or work together, but they celebrate each other difference, and also they are guided by their conscience, because they are providing the service, and that service is above their own self. Regardless, they may in a pain or they will do sacrifice, but they more referring to the service. That's why this age of wisdom, Dr. Stephen is called, this age of wisdom is also called um, age of service, because everywhere we are serving to other. One person is serving to other person. One company is serving to other consumer. One company is serving to other company. One corporation is serving to other corporation. One government is serving to other government. One institution is serving to other institution. So this service is referring in this age, and those person who can serve better or with excellent way above their self, maybe they have to sacrifice on some, they will be in age of wisdom, and they will be successful only in age of wisdom, or even in our current age, information knowledgeable courage. And that's very, very precise. I second it. I believe on this because I have practiced it, and I'm doing practice according to this Dr. Stevens uh, um, uh, sentences as well, what he wrote in a eighth habit. Now, this image is very famous. I often mention in every core values. This is today's session is actually completion of this amazing figure in the eighth habit, where we learned before the humility and courage. They are the father of integrity. And from there, they have the grandchildren, wisdom, and abundance mentality. So last 4 weeks, we learned humility, courage, integrity, and abundance mentality. And today we are just understanding wisdom. Wisdom. That's the thing which we are going to do now. So that's why you need to understand what we are trying to learn today. But wisdom cannot do alone if you do not have integrity. And integrity cannot be built in yourself until you are not down to earth, or you are not following the natural principle. And also, you cannot be a man of integrity if you are not courageous. So you have to do these things, and that's a ultimate a layout how the wisdom will work. So you cannot learn wisdom, you cannot display wisdom, you cannot practice wisdom until you will not have a man of integrity, or a lady of integrity, or the child of integrity. Whatever the age level you are, you must incorporate these core values, then you will start to show wisdom. So nowadays, the dilemma is many people, they have a very poor character, they are very arrogant, and they are very cowardice type of nature, and they start to show wisdom, they start to speak wisdom. It's just they don't mean to say wisdom, but just like a parrot, they They learn from something and they copy it and paste on the books. I'm referring to the plagiarism. I'm referring to just speaking without any practice. But wisdom is not something. Wisdom is something which you are saying, you are showing, not only through your mouth, but also from your character. And your character is a combination of many things, including integrity, including humility, including courage. All great leaders which we admire, including politicians, including celebrities, including social workers, social researchers, or historian, or prophets, or philosophers, all must have shown these values, all at a time, or some of them have some values in a major concentration in their character. So wisdom is something which have so much huge backup on so backup of integrity, backup of humility, backup of being courageous, and also partnership with abundance mentality. So that's how we are going to learn the wisdom. Um, Wisdom cannot be defined exactly, but it can be understood with various paradigms. Yeah. I mean, it's not like a glass, and we will try to define what is a glass look like, or what is glass made of, or why glass is used. It's not like that. Wisdom covers lot of things, lot of areas, lot of dimension of life, in terms of using the things, in terms of building the theories, in terms of building or writing the literature, in terms of running the school of thoughts, is so vast. Every school of thought has their own wisdom. Yeah. And why they have their own wisdom? Because they have a different paradigms. So and it have been evolved through the ages. Like I said, human beings have been on this planet in form of human from last 75,000 years before. And the real Homo sapiens with intellect and with awareness of conscious from almost 15 to 20,000 years ago. Until that, wisdom is evolving. And there is a fixed wisdom as well, which is not my topic today, but the general understanding of wisdom is evolving throughout our history, uh, from ancient civilization till modern age, till today. It constantly evolving, and so much literature, millions of billions of books and papers have been written in under the um, funnel of wisdom from every individual, every group, every religion, every community, every school of thought. I will cover some of things today. And different culture have different wisdom throughout the human history. You know, if you see today's map, that's the America. So much foundational, amazing people, philosophers, politicians, writers, scientists, researchers, and amazing people. They have born there, and they have been sharing their wisdom with the next generation. And we are witnessing South America, Europe, Russia, amazing, China, amazing, India, amazing. Then the Eastern, in especially in China, Japan, um, Vietnam, Taiwan, they all have their own school of thought, of we are mostly referring as a Eastern philosophy. And America and Europe, they share the Western philosophy, including other religion as well. Uh, so every culture, every country, they may have influence and overlapping their wisdom to other wisdom. And to be honestly, nobody can owns any wisdom because it's a shared heritage, is a shared stuff of whole world. Yeah. Even when I say the Eastern wisdom or the Western wisdom, I don't mean to say that, but people say it just for understanding or communication purpose, because there is no such as such a human Western wisdom or the Eastern wisdom, because the wisdom, ultimate wisdom, is the one, because we all are one. We all belongs to one world. We have been born through same process. So how the wisdom can be different? Yes, their expression, their meaning through the cultures, through the languages, that have been different. That's why we have formulating different school of thought, and it looks like it is different from them. But eventually we all are one. But that we can discuss in another topic in future. But I'm telling you about concept of the universal free wisdom all across the world is one. And let's go couple of school of thought for wisdom. Like ancient Greek wisdom is the most popular wisdom, especially in West, still today. And these three giant, Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates, they are the giant. They are like a god of the knowledge in Western world or even intellectual world, because their sayings, their teachings, their books, their institutions, quotations are being referred still today as equal as 5,000 years ago, or maybe 1,000 or 2,000 years ago. So, and all modern literature are written with the reflection of their sayings. Uh, and from ancient Greek till today, they have also evolved into so many other school of thought. Um, for example, the Roman wisdom, which were under throughout the Christian world after the Jesus um, incident happened, and they built amazing stuff, and they rewrote the Bible, and they start to evolve in a different perspective. They start to formulate their own wisdom literature. Even today's world, people in Europe and America, they refer their wisdom with connection with Jesus or the Christian world. Or even if they are secular, they still use a wisdom word frequently, or quite often, like Hindus as well. Hindu, the one of the most ancient and most prestigious civilization, which is still going on, they also belongs to uh, a particular wisdom school of thought, and they have also immense contribution in bringing the peace and letting the people to know the reality of different things in the world till today. They very successfully, and they are not only a school of thought, but they have reshaped into a proper religion nowadays, with following by Christianity, uh, in which it is a proper religion with the God gifted Bible and a proper civilization, which led the later generation to be inspired from the Jesus teachings, and they refer their wisdom from the Jesus. Jesus uh, was and is the source of their wisdom, what they are speaking or writing. If you go to Google and if you search on YouTube, and mostly literature or content is referring to God Jesus or Prophet Jesus. So um, that's the beauty of the wisdom. Obviously, that is referring to the religious stuff as well, but many secular, millions of secular leaders and authors in this world, they even not following any religion or particular Christianity, they still refer their wisdom with the Jesus or as a Christianity, because their school of thought have built or transformed the world into great civilization. Like Roman civilization is one of the example, and the later the the church also did a lot of good things as well. But all were sharing the wisdom of Christianity. Um, the same with the Judaism. Jews' wisdom is also very influential throughout the world. Um, their religious literature, their immense contribution in economy, in philosophy as well, in spiritual dimension as well, or especially following and establishing the modern rules and the norms. The contribution of Jews is amazing. So, if you read their books uh, in other language or maybe in English, I have great reviews about their things, and their wisdom, their shared heritage is a shared heritage to everyone. In also the Islamic wisdom, which started after Prophet Muhammad's death, and I think it's after 100 or 100, 150 years after his death, the Islamic wisdom start, and that was patronaged or supervised or supported by um, political leaders on that time, when they funded the Muslim scientists and the philosophers, and they invented and they built a civilization with so many inventions as well. And their wisdom also were spreaded across Europe, across Africa as well, and then from there they took further to the next level of wisdom, which is we are witnessing in today's world. Um, Also, the Prophet Muhammad's, who born around 1400 or 1500 years ago, um, he led an example. He lived by example to spread the moral values, and he led the foundation of Islamic dynasty, Islamic government, um, with the social values which spread throughout the world so rapidly that led to the expansion of Islamic empires. For example, Safavi Empire, Mughal empires, in Egyptian in Egypt as well. There were so Muslim empires were there. So that all were under in somehow wisdom from the Prophet Muhammad as well. Uh, Also, the Buddha, the Siddhartha Gautama, he was one of great founder in understanding the self. His wisdom is still continue across Europe and America, and the current religious practices are under uh, his teaching. He has been in a great influence. His speeches, his paper, uh, his sentences are often quoted on the internet, in the books, and he led a religion or a philosophy called Buddhism, and people have been adopted them, and they are inspired from Buddhist teaching. They become monks, and especially in attainment of peace and inner happiness, Buddhism is playing an amazing role in today's um, unrest world, unhappy world. So their wisdom is amazing as well. So now, if we see the in a broader perspective, the Buddhism, Islamic, and Hindus, they are covering as a Eastern philosophy, and Eastern philosophy often is referring as a clash with Western philosophy, and but like I said, in a broader perspective, all these people, prophets, philosophers, and great influencers uh, led the foundation of self development in the world. And even people are discussing and rewriting their stuff in terms of how human being can unleash their potential amazingly more in a controlled way, more in organized way. And that's why, but still many people, they think that there is a difference between Eastern approach of wisdom and the Western approach of wisdom in a different way. But I'm not going to discuss both way, but just for information purpose, there is a difference. Um, on a literal sense, um, and and there are difference. You can I can read as well, but I'm short of time as well, because I have to cover a lot of things as well. You can go to different books where the Eastern philosophy or the Western philosophy is well detailed written by so many authors, and both have their own significance. Eastern philosophy is mostly under the Eastern religion, or Eastern philosophy, like from Buddha, from Hindus, philosophers, from Prophet Muhammad. The Western is more influenced from Greek philosophers, Christianity, Judaism, and many philosophers we know today in the world. So they have their own significance, um, and that depends on you how you take them, and live happily and with long-term prosperity. Uh, but many people referring the wisdom with only the notion of philosophy. Philosophy itself is expression of wisdom, because if we see that the word of philosophy is derived from the Greek words philia and sophia. Philia is, it has a meaning of love, and sophia is called wisdom, so it means love for wisdom. So philosophy, if you are deep reader or deep thinker, so you must be a philosopher, or reading the philosophical literature, or different literature in a philosophical dimension. So that's how you can develop wisdom inside. So many people in today's world, if they are describing something, for example, and in a philosophical way, many people refer it as a wisdom. So, for example, the Buddhism, when many Buddhists or monks describing different things, why suffering, why there is a suffering in our world, why how we can avoid this suffering, and how we can go for happiness, then the description or the answer they have is, they are quite philosophical way, and that's why their all talks and quotation are referring as a philosophy of wisdom, as a wisdom. And the same thing, if some entrepreneur or billionaires or a successful leader in the world, when they are describing their success, then often if they are mentioning their success in some philosophical way, then it's a wisdom of that person, because it has experience on the behind of that person. For example, founders of many modern brands in our today's world, like Microsoft, Google, modern inventions, iPhone, Apple, cars, Mercedes, and so many other inventions, all founders, in terms of their success, they are also referred as a philosophers, or their uh, gist, their skeezing teaching is called their philosophy or their wisdom. So wisdom is often referred as a philosophy of that person. Um, and there is another approach which we people often discuss in our conversation: science and the religion, and which is a better. And there are so many scientists who have their wisdom as well. There are so many religious people or religious authors and writers who also share their wisdom as well. But again, like Eastern and Western wisdom, or they have their parties to support or disagree with each other. The same thing, scientists or the science have so many points against religion, and religion has a lot of disagreement with scientists. Uh, but they also do have their own wisdom, and their own wisdom serve in many ways, and they have also some weaknesses as well, or I call it limitations as well. So but obviously that depend on the person, how he or she approach to the religion, how he or she approach towards science, or how he approach towards philosophy, or other than these three things as well. For example, I mentioned here the wisdom can be defined with many ways. One, I already mentioned that in terms of philosophy, yeah, in terms of science, yeah. Um, we describe the things in terms of science because of our scientific mind uh, we have. And many people who have some spiritual or religious inclination, they will try to describe what's going on, or current affairs or history, in terms of religion. But many people define in terms of modernity, and many people, they will describe wisdom in terms of modern or postmodern ism as well. Many people in management, especially where I'm talking, my platform at the moment is I'm not as a philosopher or a religious person, or something else, but as a success coach, or a person who wants to motivate you, or may help you towards success, or get the peace in your life. So I will describe the wisdom in terms of success. And but if your success is related with generating or creating wealth, then obviously my wisdom will be related to wealth success. And so many companies, businesses, and DVDs, books have been written by contemporary authors to only write literature, how you can create or generate health, wealth, uh, and why it is important, why you need to earn so much money, why you should become millionaire or billionaire, and look at the history, look at the stories of 100 top millionaires of the world, before what they were and now what level they have gone, and now you need to follow them, blah blah blah. So so that wisdom is very much in is going on, and that's actually is more little panic as well, because the only people, they they are writing this type of literature, how to become millionaire or how to uh, gather more possession in your life, and they are referring that they are your peace as well. um, that is more materialistic in a negative way. uh, but obviously that depend on the person. If he or she wants to become millionaire or financial independent with inner peace, then they have to do balance, approach a balanced life. uh, but balanced life cannot be achieved until you have a wisdom to become spiritual, um, or a self-help person, so because so many people in this world, when they transform their life, they become celebrities, they become they become so inspiring for rest of the world. So for example, I mentioned here there are four famous figures. I took a screenshot from their university website. uh, One is Hannah and the Dalai Lama, Paul, and the fourth Mahatma Gandhi. uh, and they are amazing people. In today, we often read and get inspired stories from them in our media, in our books, in our school uh, teachings and schooling as well. So why we are? Because they were so courageous. Why? Because they transformed their life. And how? Because they follow certain wisdom, and they try to share with other people and let their nations or followers to follow them. And that's the inspiring stories. One of the inspiring story Dr. Stephen Covey wrote in the book. Basically, it was a uh, central theme of his book when he mentioned about Nobel Prize winner Muhammad Yunus in the book, and how he led the foundation of Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, where he um, he tried to give a great contribution to the country, not only the country, to the whole world, with the idea that the poor people can be trusted if we give them the small or micro loan, and then so that they can become independent and they will return your loan. And that turned into the movement, a society movement, and that movement turned into a wisdom now, and that's why he was awarded Nobel Prize. And Dr. Stephen took his story as a starting point of the eighth habit, and he mentioned that how wisdom of Dr. Muhammad Yunus, a Nobel Prize winner, led the Bangladesh poor people out of the poverty, and that inspired many other countries to follow him. And now he's an inspiring motivational speaker, writer, and teacher as well. So, how people start to um, transform the life of millions of people. So that's today's wisdom. The same thing, many people who are in today's world, they are founders of thousands of brands, and in somehow they are showing some wisdom based on their experience, based because when they skis their whole life, then they rewrite their life into a couple of pages or books, and now they are sharing. That's also called wisdom. And everybody has their favorite celebrities, gurus, spiritual leaders, uh, authors. So we are following them. But one thing is common for today's world is because today is a knowledge economy, and actually every person is circulating his or her life in economy. An economy can circulate only when you have so much money, or you have a capacity and skill or personal traits or core values to earn money and become financially independent. And that's how their millions of followers, uh, they are following them because they are teaching them some techniques, ways, or sharing wisdom, why and how to earn money, or how you can become successful. And that is bringing a revolution in industry of self-development. And you can follow them as well. I'm following many people of on the is showing on the screen. You will be following many people, uh, but obviously, because today's world is a capitalist major economies all across the world, that's why every individual is trying to earn more and more money to not only save their future, but they think that due to the money they can achieve and they can get anything what they have dreamed for. So that is our wisdom of today's. Now that's a separate question whether this trend is good or bad for humanity. I'm not going to discuss now because I'm not judge. I'm not prepared to answer for this. That's entirely up to you how you see this approach. And But again, that's depend on the person how he or she says. Now let's come to the main wisdom, what it should be, or how wisdom is actually. Um, and before I go, I will go to what is a personal wisdom, or what is a actually derived from by wisdom, or driver of the wisdom. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me any question. Right. So let's go, and we will wind up. But now we are in a second and the last section of our today's class. So that is a very well image we often discuss in our previous classes as well. That the Dr. Stephen has described that every human being is composed of four intelligences or capacities: physical intelligence, mental intelligence, emotional intelligence, or the spiritual intelligence. Now, wisdom is actually the value of your conscious, and that is referring to the spiritual intelligence. It means that if you want to become a wise person or wise lady, or then you must develop your um, spiritual intelligence, because spiritual intelligence will guide your other intelligences, that what and why to read or do as well, which will give you also sense of right and wrong, and which will also help you to cope the fight between ego and the self as well, in a broader perspective as well. So your personal freedom, your personal wisdom is a capacity that how you can uh, cope your ego, how you become humble, how you can become more courageous person, how you will become a person of integrity, how you will be a believer of on abundance mentality, and then how your sayings and your acts are aligned, like walk your talk. What you are saying, you are doing, and what you are doing, you are saying. If they all are aligned and your conscious is guiding you also, then feel free to say or write anything that will be considered as a pearls, as a jewel of your wisdom. And obviously it's not only um, a repetition, or I just memorize a couple of things and I will start to tell other people. No, it is the squeezing stuff of my whole life, which I will share with you, or you will share with other. But that step will come when you will be aligned with all these core values, and you will be inspired by your own leaders, and you will be a successful life as well. And then we will happy to start to follow you as a wise person. So now the philosophy of Twitter companies also, they are motivating to come people share their sayings, share their life, and become leaders and become wise people, so that other people start to follow you. It is an excellent way. So actually, the people who are running that Twitter account, or they have a Twitter handle, and they have a good followership as well, and they are constantly on Twitter. Within few words, they are adding their followers every day, and people are engaging in their just 2 3 lines as well. It is the reflection of their wisdom as well, and that's why the modern platform are great tools for many people in today's life. So that's how we can understand the personal wisdom. Now, what is a conscious in our mind? If we know what does it mean by conscious? Conscious is something beyond your brain, um, and that controls you as well. That controls your brain as well. That gives you sense of right and wrong as well. It is not. It is located inside you, but you cannot see, and that is the only endowment or dimension where you can become a spiritual person at your level, and then you will spreading the wisdom. But this journey of feeling yourself or discovering yourself through conscience is a big journey. Mostly people, they suffer in somehow, and then when they try to transform their life, then they discover themselves. And what mean by discover themselves? They actually discover their conscious, and because the conscious give them real ultimate peace, and give them the power to cope and fight against ego, which ego mostly have a negative agenda to make you fail again and again. So that conscious will will give you the power to defeat your ego again and again. And then you start to show your wisdom. So many great people actually, they have been fighting with ego, or they have already fought with ego. They have killed their ego in somehow, and now they are spreading wisdom. So the best example, if you have met any spiritual guru or any smart, wise person, they will be down to earth, because the ego make you arrogant. And if you don't see they are arrogant, then obviously they have killed their ego, or at least suppress the ego, and the wisdom is covering them. So that's how you can um, become a wise person. Um, so until we don't strive to follow core values, um, we cannot be wise truly, no matter how good we are, expert or great in my field. So it means that many people, for example, you are a brilliant doctor, you are a great salesperson, you are an exceptional great scientist. That's a fantastic. That's a, but to that does not make you wise. You cannot start to allow other people to follow you, and they will not follow you, by the way. No matter you are a big doctor, they only will follow you. The world only will follow you when you will have a wisdom. And wisdom is something, it inspires the other people. Wisdom is something which they feel spiritually from you. And that's why how they will start to follow you. You cannot only just utter something from your mouth and read some philosophical thoughts in front of audience, and you will get start to inspire them. No, people are not really silly, and people are very well educated, and they know that why and how to follow you. No matter in any industry you are pioneer or you are great, you must exercise the core values of humility, of courageous, of be a person of integrity, um, and uh, uh, and also believe on abundance and so many other core values. Then you will be a wise person. And that's a definition of wise person in my understanding as well. And I think that Dr. Stephen is saying more or less the same thing as well, because that's the thing. And that's how, if you see on number 5, the age of wisdom, the age of wisdom, we we can enter if we will follow our conscious, if we will follow the natural principles, if we will follow the core values as well. You cannot go until. That's why um, Dr. Stephen is saying 20% people will be unemployed, or their work will be obsolete. They will not be fit in the next age. So they will have a very tough time. Even nowadays, I see a lot of my colleagues, a lot of my friends and family and cousins, they are jobless. Not because of COVID-19. I'm talking about before COVID-19. They they are not on the job because their work have been become abundant, obsolete, because they don't have a mindset and a tool set to learn new skills, new mindset, and they do not have capacity to enter into information knowledge worker age or the age of wisdom. That's why they are unemployed. And that's why I'm afraid that the people may tend towards corruption, to do corruption, and towards crime as well, because of that anxiety. So that's why being a personal development trainer and inspiring person, me and other, and your responsibility is to inspire other people so that they can find their voice and they start to learn new things, new mindset, new stuff, and new learning, and a new business and new job in a new field, in a new industry. And that's the only thing how you can become. And in the last, before we read anything, the roots of the wisdom is showing in the Speed of Trust book. It's amazing, my favorite thing, my favorite image. It's my compass of life, and it's showing that your character is your root and your competence is your trunk with leaf. So your competence and character make you the whole person and give you the success, ultimate success as well. So then you can start to sharing your wisdom with other people. So um, that's it. And now it's a reading time. I'm not sure if you can, you have a time. um, I think it's at 10-15 minutes reading is there, and then there is a practical stuff as well. I just want to ask you if you have a time, then we can read. Otherwise, I will finish um, my stuff here. Um, but I would like to ask you if you have a time. Please let me know. Otherwise, shall I go for reading, or we can finish? Or if you have a question, we can discuss the question, please.
I have time to read. I mean, not myself, but whoever wants to read. Cha-Cha, do you want to read? Or anyone?
Yeah, let's start reading. It's just a 5-10 minutes reading, and yeah, Jenny will help us to read it. And um, this is some of the pages I took from the Eighth Habit book. It will let us know what is the age of wisdom, and many things I have already described. But because short of time, if I want to point some important stuff in the reading, I will hold on the Jenny, and then we will discuss before we go further. Otherwise, she will continue to reading. So that's the thing. And at the last, I have a 2 pages exercise you can do at your home. It's a brilliant thing, and it will let you know that how you can use your wisdom uh, and to resolve the problem of your life, some issue. And because the wisdom should help you, must help you to solve your life greatest challenges. And I will show you how. Dr. Stephen has mentioned in the book amazingly. So let's read the Age of Wisdom. Yes, Jenny, please read it. Sorry, we can't hear you. We're very sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. The Age of Wisdom. I believe that this millennium will become the Age of Wisdom. It will come about either through the force of circumstance that humbles people, or through the force of conscience, or perhaps both. Remember the 5 ages of civilization's voice. The technology for the hunter-gatherer age was symbolized by the bow and arrow, the agricultural age by farm equipment, the industrial age by the factory, the information knowledge worker age by human being, the age of wisdom by a compass, which signifies the power to choose our direction and purpose and obey the natural laws or principles, magnetic north, that never change and that are universal, timeless, and self-evident. Remember that each infrastructure shift over 90% of the, see where we are, people were eventually downsized. I believe this is now happening as we move from the industrial to the informational knowledge worker age. People are either losing their jobs or gradually being transformed by the new demands of their new jobs. I personally believe that over 20% of the present workforce is becoming obsolete, and that unless they eradicate and reinvent themselves within a few years, another 20% will become obsolete. The information age is transforming so rapidly into the knowledge worker age that it is going to take continual investment in our education and training to stay abreast. Much of this will be done by the school of hard knocks, but people who see what is happening and who are disciplined will systematically continue their education until they require the new mindset and the new skill set required to anticipate and accommodate the realities of the new age. Hopefully, this will gradually morph into an age of wisdom when information and knowledge are impregnated with purpose and principles.
Yeah, so that is most of the stuff which I have already discussed previously as well, that how the next age we need to get ready, and what are the requirements on a superficial level. Uh, but the main thing is we have to follow our conscious. We need to increase or enhance our spiritual intelligence by identification of ourselves, and also by following our other intelligences as well. Otherwise, we will be downsized by our employer, or my any of occupation or current skills will not in use for the next generation. That's very unfortunate for many people. But that's the how world is growing. World is running their operation all the time. So 20% more people will be jobless, downsized, and hence their life will be so much in panic. So because they do not know how to go into the age of wisdom, and how they can identify their own wisdom, or how they need to follow the core values. So that's all they have to know. But we are lucky enough, you are lucky as a watcher or viewer of this video, that at least you are aware about this now. Yeah, please next. Now we will learn where is the wisdom, how we can identify the wisdom. That's a very important. It's a very great thing because Dr. Stephen is saying uh, people often say that if you have more knowledge, if you have more information about particular thing, does it mean that you have wisdom? No. Actually, it's opposite. It's surprisingly, it's less knowledge you have, maybe you will be more wise person. And in this next page, you will learn that more knowledge you will have, more ignorant you will be because of some stuff. So that's why we need to learn. So let's read out, please. Next.
Where is wisdom? We know that information is not wisdom. We also know that knowledge is not wisdom. Many years ago, when I was teaching at a university and working on my doctorate, I went to see a friend who was also my senior professor. I told him I'd like to do a dissertation on the subject of motivation and leadership, a philosophical document rather than an empirical study. He basically said to me, Stephen, you don't know enough to even ask the right questions. In other words, my knowledge was at one level, but my knowledge would have to be way beyond its current level if I was to deal with the kinds of questions I would need to deal with. This was very emotionally traumatic for me because my heart and mind were really set on taking a philosophical approach rather than the scientific approach that I eventually ended up taking. I believe that the combination of informal philosophical training I'd received during my undergraduate and graduate studies in business would be sufficient. I didn't realize until years later how right he was. It was a humbling experience. That lesson in humility was the mother of many precious learnings and insights that would come in the years that followed. Eventually, we learned that the more you know, the more you don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
Look at it this way. See figure 15.1. Here's a circle which represents your knowledge. Your ignorance is on the outside of that circle. And do you want to take this part? So
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
explain it to us.
uh, yeah. Carry on.
Okay. As your knowledge increases, what happens to your ignorance? It obviously becomes larger, or at least your awareness of your ignorance becomes larger. See figure 15.2. So the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. What if you were trying to serve purposes greater than your knowledge, greater than your comfort zone? This would create genuine humility and a desire to draw upon help from others, from a partnership or team.
Yeah, one
Success.
second, please. Thank you. Um, there is a great point in that. Have you seen any person who looks very humble? I mean, very ordinary, but their purpose is extraordinary. I see many people in my life. For example, I see a peon um, who looks after the office and like a office boy. And but when I interview him one day, and his actually the purpose of life was so big, and that actually is a reflection that he will have a wisdom. So because also he was exercising his humility. It is also like, for example, if you are a PhD holder and for some reason uh, you are doing a waiter job in a restaurant local and you are happy to become waiter for some reason, that is a humility. And but if you have eventually a great purpose in your life, this job of being a waiter will not give you a shame thought or any sorrow. So that's the beauty of great having a great purpose with your humility and being a courageous as well. So that's how it's. Dr. Stephen is saying in this paragraph that if you are doing something great beyond your comfort zone or beyond from your knowledge, then you will become a great person indeed. And yes, please go ahead, Jenny.
Let's see where I was.
Successfully.
Successfully. Okay. Oh, successfully working with others makes one's knowledge and abilities productive and necessitates the creation of a complementary team of people who possess knowledge and abilities that can compensate for and make irrelevant one's individual ignorance and weaknesses. That is as it should be. This awareness should increase our commitment to continual mentored learning, particularly in subjects as critical as personal growth, relationships, and leadership. I don't know what the other part said, but knowledge are impregnated with worthy purposes and principles. You have wisdom.
Yeah,
And
that's it. That's it. So, uh, and the next whole paragraph is describing the different things of four about other core values: integrity, wisdom, abundance, mentality, courage, humility, and often I have described there as an interpretation as well. So let's keep it because the time is short. And just in the last of this page, um, I can read it. It's just few lines. Wisdom is beneficial use of knowledge. Wisdom is information and knowledge impregnated with higher purposes and principle. Wisdom teaches us to respect all people, to celebrate their differences, to guided by a single ethic, that is service above self. That's it. So um, that's the how. And actually, this is the quotation I mentioned in the earlier of this class as well, this session as well. So I have already explained this. Um, so that's the reading for today regarding the wisdom. I hope you understood well about actually wisdom, especially in today's contemporary context, where a lot of people are unaware about notion of wisdom and where does it lie, and who is wise and who is not wise. Um, so that's my goal of today. And before I finish for today, there is an exercise for us, um, that on a personal level, how we can use our freedom to resolving our today's problem. So let me tell you, this is the is I took from the workbook of the Eighth Habit. Uh, there is a personal level and there is a relationship level. So, for example, on a personal level, many people or myself, I want peace of mind and good relationship, right? It's very easy. Everybody is looking. But actually, what they are doing, people want to keep their habits and lifestyle. Like people wants to keep their bad habit and bad lifestyle or flawful lifestyle. But actually, they want peace of mind and good relationship. You cannot get a good relationship if you have a same bad habit or same bad lifestyle. So here wisdom will guide you. And how it will guide you, it's on a third column. So okay. And the third, and how the wisdom will guide you, the person would need to win a private victory by sacrificing what I want for a higher, more important purpose, for what is right. So here is your wisdom to achieve your personal level, which is here. Yeah, that's how, and that's your problem here. So, for example, many people personal level, I have a bad eating habit. Uh, I want to be eat wise and balanced diet, right? So I want to eat balanced balanced diet, but I have a problem. I'm eating very bad food every day in a bad times. Now, how my wisdom will stop me and guide me? I need to work on this. So here you will write your answer, because if you are a wise enough, if you are a wise lady or a wise man, you should write here. So here are three blank boxes. So your homework is, you need to write here your personal desired result, here what problem you are facing, and here you need to write wisdom for yourself. So you are actually helping yourself. You see, that's how you need to do this. It's the same thing about relationship level, and what I want to achieve. People wants relationship of trust. For example, if I'm a husband, I want a great trust with my wife. Or if I'm a boss, I want a great trust with my employee. Yeah. But actually, what is happening? Individual thinks more in terms of me, my want, my needs, my rights. That's a problem. So when I'm talking with my wife, I'm saying, oh, I need it. I want it. It's my right. Do you think if I'm saying I, it will build a trust with my wife? Same thing if I'm a boss. I'm saying I need this. I want to say this. I want to do this right now. I. Do you think that this will build the trust? Now let's how the wisdom will guide us. Wisdom is saying on a third column, focus on trust building principle and sacrifice me for we. So you need to use word we, not I. That's you need to sacrifice. Yeah. So you can say, we need to get this result. We need to finish today, please. And you can say to your wife, we need to build our family like this. Not I need to build my family like this. So that's makes the big difference. And you need to follow trust building relationship. For example, think win-win. For example, habit number 5, first seek to understand and then to be understood. Then habit number 6, be synergized. So these are the habits which we need to practice, and that's your problem will be finished. So this is, and here are 3 blank boxes. So your homework is to write relationship issues, desired result here, issues here, and advise yourself what you will do, how your wisdom will help you to do this. So this, I hope this exercise will help you and my audience who are watching this video in a good level. You can print this sheet as well, or you can make this sheet on a blank sheet as well quickly by pausing this video. It's very easy. Because of copyright, I cannot share this to you. Uh, but if you buy the book of the 8th habit, you will get this. And there are so many other exercises as well. So that's it. It's for end for mine now. And I know it's has been long video as well, but I believe it help you to understand how you can become wise, and you will start to work on this. So any question, please? Right. So thank you so much for joining today's class. Next week, I will come with a new foundational value, new core value, and we will discuss that as well. In the meanwhile, if you can join my YouTube channel, you can please, you can share this channel to other people. You can comment on the channel. If you have any question, you can comment below as well. If you want to visit my other platform, there are the links for them. And thank you so much, and see you next week.